Rockney, Rudy, Touchdown Jesus. How do you, I mean, people go there for sightseeing. How do you convince your kids it's a business trip?
Well, we certainly hope our guys don't go there for sightseeing. That's going to be a key. I think we just got to go play. We're going to try to not make too big a deal out of it. We've played a lot of good teams so far this year. This will be our third top 10 team that we're playing. So we just know going on the road's tough, and playing a great team like Notre Dame will be a challenge.
They've sort of lived on the edge. I mean, they've squeaked out a couple of games, that they could have very easily have lost. Does that maybe indicate they're potentially vulnerable, even though they're undefeated?
Well, I think what you find is most good teams find a way to win, and it's not always the prettiest win, but a win's a win, and they've won them all. So that they know how to do it and take a great effort. And I think if you got a chance late, you got to make plays. So we've got a big challenge. This is a really, really good Notre Dame football team.
Number 3 in the BCS. They're talking national champion. In the mix for the national championship game. Talk about playing the role of spoiler as potential motivation.
Well, I think that playing Notre Dame takes care of itself. I don't think the role of spoiler is big on our players' minds, or at least it shouldn't be. I think certainly you'd be a spoiler if you got to sneak up there and get a win. But just playing Notre Dame is going to have your kids pumped up. One of our things is try not to be too pumped up. I thought we were against Clemson and started out really slowly, just kind of flying around and not focusing on our keys. So I think it's important to be pumped up and excited, and it would be fun to play the role of spoiler, but I think more than anything we better take care of Wake Forest, go play good football.
From a historical college football perspective, I mean, there's really, there's only few atmospheres like Notre Dame Stadium, in the country.
Yeah, it's a special place. When I was at the Air Force Academy, we got to play back there a couple of times, and it's an amazing place. I mean, it just feels like football. It feels like what football should be, and be a great experience for our players. So that's really why we wanted to play Notre Dame. Now, I didn't know we were going to end up playing them 3 times. I thought we were going to play 1 time in South Bend, and we're going to get a couple shots here in the next 3 years. But a fantastic place to play. Our players will sense that this is what football's all about.
How much does playing them last year sort of maybe take a little bit of the mystique off, and for the kids that sort of can relate, they're not playing Rockney and all the Heisman trophies, they're playing kids that they played last year.
Yeah, we were very disappointed last year because we had a chance to win, at least to tie it late, and didn't get that done. But I think playing at Notre Dame's a little different. This will be a great environment, and make our job a lot tougher. I think playing at home last year really helped us, and going on the road, playing a better Notre Dame team than we played last year. A team that's very much improved in taking care of the football offensively. Their defense is much better, one of the tops in the country. They do a nice job on special teams. This is a different Notre Dame team, and playing at their place will make it tougher.
Defensively, I mean, they beat people up. I mean, talk about sort of having to prepare for that style of play.
Well, they've got the formula. They've got a defensive front that can put pressure on the quarterback without bringing the house, and that's what you want as a defensive coach. If you can rush 3 or at the most rush 4 and still play coverages and get pressure on the quarterback, that's what you want to have to do. They don't have to dial up blitzes to get pressure on the quarterback, and they're big and physical up front, and those guys take care of the run really well. So this is a defensive football team that really can be a pretty basic defense and stop everybody they play.
Talk about Goldston seems to be, makes their offense different than what they've had in the last couple of years.
Well, I think if you look at the best quarterbacks in the country, some of them are candidates for the Heisman Trophy right now. They're not one-dimensional. The best quarterbacks are guys that have a good arm and can throw the football, but the ones that can make something out of nothing with their feet are the guys that drive you crazy, and that's what their quarterback does. He throws the ball really well, and they've got some nice guys to throw it to. Good running game, big physical offensive line that can hand the football off, but I think the secret to this offense is a quarterback that has the mobility to beat you with his feet.
Coach, you talked about going up to Notre Dame numerous times when you were with Air Force. Have your players gauged you about that at all? And if not, what will you tell them leading into this Saturday?
Well, not really. We haven't talked too much about it. I think the key for us is, what's happened in the past doesn't really mean much going forward, because this will be a different team that we're taking in there, and certainly a different challenge. But I think, for our players, just, letting them know that this is going to be something special. This is something that for the rest of their lives they'll be able to say they went into South Bend and played the Fighting Irish is important.
How good is it to have a game like this coming off a loss like this past Saturday?
Well, I think it's fun. I think, this is one of those weeks where we don't have to say a whole lot. I thought we had a really good practice last night, and our guys realized that this is pretty special stuff. We're disappointed that we didn't play better against North Carolina State. We know that we've got to play a lot better to have a chance this week, but I think just playing Notre Dame gives your guys a little extra bounce in their step.
Being on this national stage and going up here and pulling off what would be an upset, how big would that be for your football program?
Well, it would be huge, obviously. I think for us, playing Notre Dame just in itself is enough motivation, but playing a team that has the potential to be a national champion makes it even more exciting. But our job's really tough. I don't mean to think that we're going to just go up there and knock them off. We go up there and play great football, because this obviously is one of the better football teams in the country. So you can't really wish and hope what might happen. You dream a little bit, but you better go to work when you get up there.
You spoke about the fact that they find ways to win these games, and you look at the schedule or whatnot, and for those games they could have, should have lost, whatever you may say about that. Does that give you guys any extra confidence going up there, knowing that they may be 10-0, but a lot of those games they were competitive, and Wake Forest can go in there and do the same thing and maybe do what everybody else couldn't do?
Yeah, we saw Boston College playing pretty tough last week, and we felt like we played pretty good against Boston College, and so I think our guys know we're capable. I think the problem is that this Notre Dame football team's got it all. They play great defense. That's where everybody wants to start. If you're a coach, you want to start playing great defense. Their offense is taking care of the football. They're not turning it over. Last year they turned it over a lot. They're not doing that this year. And they're solid in special teams. So they've got the formula: play great defense, take care of it on offense, and play good special teams. They're very well coached, very talented. So it's a challenge. It's not going to be an easy job for us to go up there and get a W.
Coach, talk about, you had the very solid win against Boston College, then not so great effort against NC State. I guess that's the roller coaster of college football when you're dealing with 18, 19, 20-year-old kids. That's the stuff that turns your hair gray. Yeah,
it's week to week. You notice I've got a lot of gray hair because of that, but it really is week to week. And I thought NC State would give us their best shot, and they did. They were discouraged the week before that they didn't play better against Virginia. We were coming off a good win against Boston College, and I really was disappointed. I really thought our football team was going to play better. I thought we went into the game with a good mentality. I thought our guys were going to take their best shot. We had a lot of good energy. We just didn't play very well. But that's college football. I mean, I knew that NC State was going to come out and get after us, and they did, and we didn't respond very well. But this is a new week. We'll see what happens up in South Bend.